Peace.
Come and join us in conversation. You're connecting with the current.
Hi, I'm James.
I'm Katina,
And
and
we're
we're
connecting
connecting
with
with
the
the
Collins.
Collins. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, we're just glad that you decided to take a few moments to connect with us. Listen, it is still Creative Romance Month.
That's right. That's right. And we're going to talk about vow renewing.
And before we do, please remember to give us a thumbs up, like, and share.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell down below.
So when we think about vow renewal, this is still our 30th year, 2022.
Yes, yes, yes.
And when we got married and we recited those vows,
Mm,
we didn't think really about the vows that we were reciting. And as we talked to other married couples and
yeah.
mentor them, it's really important to take a moment while you're planning the wedding,
Mm-hmm.
while you're trying to get your outfits together,
That's
that you
right.
really take some time and talk about those vows.
That's right. You brought up a great question. So for me, you just want to get through the wedding.
Hmm.
You're not really thinking about, you know, the what the words really mean,
Yeah.
unless you maybe ruin it. But on the average man or woman, you just want to get through it
Hmm.
so that you can make it official.
Yeah.
But it's something when you hear the vows and think about it, is when you start to go through that process. So it's sickness and health,
Hmm.
for better, for worse.
Hmm.
And then the last one everyone seems to have a problem with is submit, love, cherish, and obey.
Well, why don't we watch and talk
So
about it?
let's talk about it. So you want to roll clip?
Yeah, let's
Let's roll
roll
the
clip.
clip. I, James Roy Collins Jr.
Take thee, Katina Yvette Collins,
Take the Katina Yvette Collins
again
again
to be my lawfully wedded wife,
to be my lawfully wedded wife,
to have and to hold
to have and to hold
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better or for worse.
for better or for worse.
Ooh, can we pause there for a moment?
Okay.
So to have and to hold from this day forward. When we were young, that meant a whole lot different, I think, than what it means now. So back in 1992, when the preacher said to have and to hold, what did that mean to you in that moment?
Well, um, really didn't time to think about it. Oh, sorry.
You gonna be for real?
To have and to hold.
Uh-huh.
So,
Uh-huh. What did that mean to you?
well, today it means a whole lot, but back then,
Because
and
you was young and frisky.
well, I should have been because I'm young. Come on, I'm not.
So back then that was your license to
To have and to hold. We're gonna leave it like that. Come on now.
and then for better or for worse.
So yes,
Hmm.
for better and for worse.
Hmm.
Again, these again are formality words that we don't really think about. What does it mean, and what does it take to do those things?
Hmm.
Because when we just get married, we're married, but what is that?
Yeah,
What is that? Oh, I'm married now. Okay, I'm a man, I'm a married man. What did that look like? I don't
right.
know.
And if you didn't have any good examples growing up of what marriage should look like,
Right.
then it really was foreign.
Yeah.
And then if you didn't have any real good examples, and as we're discussing this, we hope that it will encourage perhaps a couple that may be on the brink of deciding to go separate ways,
Yeah.
that you will rethink
Mm-hmm.
your decision. Maybe you are a couple that is considering getting married. Maybe you've been just living together, and you really haven't made that
I
step
like it. I
forward.
like it.
We hope that by our conversation today, that 30 years later, you'll understand that it is a serious step forward, but there are some benefits to saying I do.
Well, here's the thing. Something just dropped in my spirit, and I know we're not recording, but if you follow the blueprints of your vow,
Yeah,
that can keep you married.
yeah.
If you ever think about it, that
Mhm.
can really keep you married because
So the vow of the blueprint.
the vows are the blueprint to your marriage.
Y'all better get some paper and a pen, because vows
That's
are
big.
your blueprint.
Your vows are your blueprint. Because think about it. To have, to hold,
So each other, because we're
other.
saying to each
Yeah.
other, now between the two of us,
To have and to hold. So don't cheat.
right?
Don't look out your side of your marriage for
And don't hold out
don't
on
hold.
the other individual,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, don't use it as a weapon. 'Cause
Right?
it's not a weapon.
Right.
Sorry, sorry to take away some of your ammo, but that's not how that works in marriage.
Mm-mm.
And it keeps the devil at bay from
Mhm.
being tempted outside of the realm of marriage.
Right.
It's a circle. It's a sacred circle between the two of you guys.
Oh, I like that. It's a
That's sac-
blueprint.
It's a blueprint.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so if we go back to the blueprint, to have and to hold in sickness.
Well, we go back for
Oh,
better or for worse.
oh,
That's where we stop, for better for worse. So what
Mm.
so in our 30 years, what did better and worse look like for us? Like, we've been through some better and some worse.
It's a roller coaster.
Man.
It's a roller coaster. And roller coaster has velocity,
Yeah.
it has speed,
Mm-hmm.
it has curves, it
Mm-hmm.
has sometimes even upside down loops.
Well, talk about it.
There's some times where you feel like you're going to fall off that roller coaster.
Yeah.
But that's why you gotta
Oh,
have
but you hold on.
you hold on. But here's the other thing too. There are restraints in place that hold you inside that roller coaster.
That's good.
That because sometimes your grip is not strong enough to hold on for that ride.
Talk.
But the restraints they put you in, the required restraints, that's what keep you in.
So that circle that you were talking about a moment ago.
Circle is a complete circle. Now,
Yeah,
here's the thing.
the Holy Spirit, the Lord keep us.
Yes. And that's why it's important that your foundation be solid.
Yeah.
You don't want to build anything on top of a foundation that won't support the load.
Well, and when you think about our better and worse, we've had some very prosperous times.
Oh yeah, it's not been all bad tumultuous.
We've had some very financially lean times.
Woo.
We've had a lot of circumstances that we didn't have any choice in, that we didn't make the decision in, from being homeless to living out of people's homes, to having our own homes, to foreclosing homes, to better and worse.
But here's the thing. Yes, those are circumstances that life happens. I'm gonna say that. But the thing is, the love between each other, and the foundation between each other, and the trust, all those inner things that's important in a relationship. If you keep those things, the elements together, then the rest that you can handle on the outside.
Yeah, that's why faith is our foundation, right?
Faith is the foundation. So here's the thing. Here's the magic key. If your foundation is not strong, when the wind blow, you're gonna blow.
That's good. So whether it would have been for good or for bad, if the foundation wasn't strong, it wouldn't have stood.
So make sure when you marry a person that your roots and his roots can come together, and form a bind in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's the base.
That's good.
So when the wind blows the tree, that tree may bend, but it's not gonna break
That's good.
and it's not gonna fly over.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at a real healthy, strong tree that's in a in a hurricane season, you may, or either on the like a tsunami, you look at that tree, and that thing, you're like, how that tree is able to stand.
Yeah,
But when it passes, here's the key. But when the storm passes over,
it's gone by.
it's going to back up.
All right, let's keep going.
Ooh, that's powerful.
That's good.
For richer or for poorer?
For richer or for poor.
In sickness and in health,
In sickness and in health.
and to love and to cherish,
To love and to cherish,
till death do us part.
till death do us part.
Okay, let's pause there for a moment. In sickness and in health.
Health.
Wow. I think about that, in sickness and in health. And, 30 years ago, we weren't thinking about the other getting sick. We weren't even, I remember Reverend Felton Howard, who performed our first, I believe he told you, the faces you see today,
Yeah.
there won't be the same faces, the same face that you see in 20 to 30 years. And we don't look the same at all. But because we made a vow, regardless to what the sickness was, regardless to how much it pulled out of the other one,
Mhm.
we were committed to stay, regardless of the sleepless nights. I mean, when we had, I think about when we had Janae,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And as a new mother, I
Yeah.
remember being so tired,
Yeah.
and you recognizing that and taking her so I could finally go to sleep, and then reciprocating that when you got sick in your body, with your diabetes, then I had to step in and take on the load. But that's what in sickness and in health means, that we give and we take.
Mhm, mhm. That's right. That's right. I would say like this: we're time tested,
Mhm.
battle tested, and those are things that test us through the downtime. But once we're tested, it makes us stronger
Mhm.
in the going through that process.
Yeah,
That's why you can't forsake the process, because or don't begrudge the process,
That's
because
good.
it's a making. It's somebody going through the fire. It's like it's a refiner fire that you're going through, that's hardening, strengthening
yeah,
that circle. And so my thing as as the husband, I'm the keeper, I'm the protector. I'm going to make sure that whatever that the family needs,
yeah,
I can be relied on. I'm gonna go out there and do that hustle. I'm going out there and do what it takes legally, and do what it needs to happen.
yeah.
And if it don't happen tomorrow, don't give up. One thing I love about James Evans on Good Times, that man will work from sun up to sundown.
Yes, they would.
And then when he comes home, he demands peace in his
Yeah,
house.
yeah, that's good. That's good.
And so whatever it takes, but he never gave up on the family.
That's true.
And so that was kind of like a father for me growing up,
That's
of
good.
taking taking things from the shelf,
That's good. That's good.
and that's positive. So that was helping me structure me as a man, that I, so can I can do it too. So I recognize the fact when you needed a break.
That's good.
I recognize the fact that I will tell you on Saturdays while Janae's, you go out, you do what you need to do. I'll sacrifice my sunny day,
And
as a father should. It just,
And that's key. There's not a lot of men that will do that. I paused at the till death do us part, because I was listening to how you recited that, and I sensed a shift in you when you said those particular vows. What shifted?
I think the idea of thinking that we can be apart, because you know how it is. Now, this is me, like, oh, I just want to die together. And then we're gonna go up to our next house in the mansion. But there's a reality is you know, we're not may not die together.
Yeah.
One may die before the other one.
Mhm.
And what does that look like? That idea of being separated.
Yeah.
Um, and I, yeah, that was kind of a choking moment for me because you know the reality is it happens all the time. You know.
It does, and I think that it's so important. Again, even as we were introducing, connecting with the Collins, you know, not taking your spouse
Yeah.
for granted.
Yeah.
That they're just going to be there. So, you know, if you've been talking to your spouse any kind of way,
Yeah.
if you've been belittling your spouse,
Yeah.
or if you've been beating your spouse down, now is the time to really take a look at yourself, and what is missing in your life. What are you hurting from in your life, so that you can get the help that you need, so you can get well, so you can love on your spouse the appropriate way. Because as you said,
Mhm.
we're gonna be parted.
At some point, yes. But I think it going back. I have to keep pointing here. Is really your faith as
Mhm.
your base.
That's key.
God teaches us how to love
Mhm.
and love on ourselves. And so if I put God's love, not James' love,
Mhm.
James' love is temporary. James' love can be broken through arguments, things like that. But if I say in Christ, I know some people may not want to hear this, but if your guys are equally yoked and in love, God will show you how to love your mate
Mhm.
and show you how to communicate. There, what triggers her, what triggers him. You can say it, but how do you say it?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Bible talks about a foolish woman can tear down her house,
Yeah.
but a wise woman can build up her house
With her. Yeah.
with the
Hands. Yeah.
and that's the key. So how we have to respect something
Mhm.
that
Well,
we don't do that.
let's go a
We
little
don't we don't
further.
we love each other, but we don't respect each other,
Ooh,
and
let's talk about that.
that's how things get missed.
Can we go further and then talk about that?
Let's go.
Let's go.
according to God's holy ordinance,
According to God's holy ordinance,
and thereto I pledge thee my faith.
and there
This gets to the good stuff. Talking about that respect.
This is Thomas to me. I, Katina Yvette Collins,
I, Katina Yvette Collins,
take thee James Roy Collins Jr.
take thee, James Roy Collins Jr.,
again to be my lawfully wedded husband,
to be my lawfully wedded husband,
to have and to hold
to have and to hold
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better or for worse,
for better or for worse,
for richer or poorer,
for richer, and poorer. Believing.
It's still coming, still coming.
Yes, Lord.
in sickness and in health,
In sickness and in health,
and to love
and to love,
and to cherish
and to cherish,
and to obey.
and to obey. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Listen, some people have taken obey out of their vows.
Oh, it's happening more and more. And obey is not a bad word, guys.
Mhm.
Obey goes both ways.
Yeah.
And submitting to one another.
Mhm.
It's not only biblical, but it goes back of taking care of one another.
Yeah.
Because you have to submit yourself to things that you probably don't want to do,
Yes.
but you're doing it because it's for the greater good.
Mhm.
Isn't that true?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you have
It
to
is.
submit your will. Let's talk about it. Our flesh, your
Yeah.
will, and do I have to stop watching football? I know she needs soup in the bed.
Right. That's real.
That's just real. That's real.
That's real. And when we as women, when we think about obey, there has been so much bad energy placed around obey, but there really is power in that, and it's not so much uh, um, using that to beat us over the head. Like that should never be.
I would, and I agree with you, but men, it's their own fault. Our forefathers have taken it and they use it in an abusive term over our wives.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up a little bit with that. I mean, you see it on the movies, you've seen it. If you look at that certain era, time period, they thought as men, if I just control my wife,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's mental, that's mental abuse too, or physical abuse, then if I could control her in that capacity,
Mm-hmm.
that means to obey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not it. You're just being abusive. That has
Right.
nothing to do with that. When you love her, you're going to obey her. When you love him in the right way, you're going to obey him. And it's not a negative. All that means is to seal the deal on taking care of each other.
Yeah, that's
I like
good.
that.
You're gonna seal the
We're
deal.
going to seal the deal like Holyfield, and we're gonna that's gonna make our
Yeah,
of submission to each other concrete.
and it is that back to that level of respect. 'Cause
Right.
there are some things as my husband that
Mhm.
you see that you will give guidance on.
Yeah.
And vice versa. There may be some things that I can share to give guidance to you, but that's where that respect level comes in respecting one another and being obedient, right?
Yes,
Because
yes.
the other may see something. If I'm going to walk down the street and you see a ditch,
Right.
and you don't tell me that the ditch is there and I fall and hurt myself,
Mhm.
then that's on you.
That is.
Now, if you tell me and I keep going and I
Mhm.
fall in the ditch,
Mhm.
then that's on me.
Oh boy, you brought on a whole nother level of frustration, because many times there has been husbands that say, look, don't do this, don't spend that, don't go over there, don't go over that person's house because blah blah blah. And what happened is if they be disobedient,
Mhm.
what with the two things that happens to me, and ladies, you got to be careful of this, because you can shut your husband's mouth up
Sure.
and he won't ever warn you again, because why? You're not listening.
Mhm.
So and then point number two is it can cause division.
Yeah.
Now, arguments. Why should I talk to you? Blah blah blah. Because now once they have happened, the woman gonna say, where were you?
Mhm.
How come you didn't? The man's like, why? Why should I? You
Yeah,
don't listen.
that's key.
So yeah, that's
It's listen, that's
listen,
gonna be, we're gonna have to go deeper in another
Okay.
conversation.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so you have questions down below. Please share your comments.
Yes.
Please share your thoughts.
Yes.
And then maybe we'll get back on the next time and we will talk and discuss. We won't forget about you. We'll present the comment and we'll talk about it. These are
Yeah,
topics that
yeah.
we can be good to talk about.
This is good. Again, I think one of the key things that came out is
when you're
that
recording.
that the vows are the blueprint.
Yes.
And so if you didn't get anything else out of tonight, as a newlywed couple, as one that's been considering, because remember, we renewed our vows at 20, and we'll have to share with you in the next video why we renewed our vows at 20, and then here we are at 30.
Mhm.
And so as you think about that, until death do us part,
Yeah.
really take those vows and use them as your blueprint. And in the next video, we'll talk a little further, and we hope to have some other couples to discuss what they do.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Right?
Because we know couples that are they're in different stages in their
Mhm.
marriage. So it's be interesting to see what focal point that they're working on, and just be interesting their point of view. So
Mhm. To encourage you.
to encourage you, to inspire you, to get ideas, talk about. It might be we may hit a subject matter that
Mhm.
you're currently into,
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be fascinating
It will.
to see what energy that they bring, and it'll be kind of cool.
It will be cool. So listen, we only have a couple of more weeks in this creative romance. And so what we want you to do is in the comments, we want you to tell us what is the most creative thing you have done in the
Mhm.
month of February? And the most creative idea
Uh-huh.
that we hear and see
Mhm.
is going to win a prize. So put your comments down below and tell us all about your most creative Valentine. All right, y'all.
All right, we're your hosts. We'll see you next time. And again, don't forget to subscribe, share, and
Like.
like.
Have a good week.
Peace.